How's it going? So I wanted to talk about a tool slash resource that I really like using for tabletop RPGs, specifically ones themed in the Weird West or Fantasy West. And I found it kind of by accident when I was doing research for a game that I was working on that probably eventually pick up again, which was a hack of Tavern Tales in a Fantasy West setting called Saloon Tales. And I wanted something things to be at least like not realistic, but tethered to that kind of time period. And while doing research and trying to find things, I stumbled upon the old Sears Robux catalogs. The one that I have here is from I believe 1903. They have ones from 1897, but they're in private collections, and you can also buy reprints on Amazon or wherever. But it's really nice to get an idea of what was available in that time period. So you don't have to kind of wonder like, did they have the I don't know electricity? Kinda. It wasn't great, but they yes they did. But it gives you an anchor point to know within the realm of reason, even in a fantasy game, the kind of things that were available. And it's just stuffed full of weird stuff, and I love it. Just for inspiration alone, just like you've got rings, you've got tokens, pins, and different things. And if you're playing in like a high fantasy setting, they can be enchanted, or you can just be using the art as an asset to give to the player, so they know what the ring that they have looks like. I mean, hell, the one looks like snakes that are intertwined. That's cool. I mean, you've got charms, a tiny lantern that could, if you have it, give you dark vision or something, or actually provide a small amount of light in total darkness. Like small little specific trinkets, things that you can kind of freely give and not have to worry about it breaking your game. It can break your game if you want it to, but it doesn't have to. But like I said, it's just a lot of weird things, conversation tubes. If you if if players want to have a conversation with each other, whispered across the tube, running along the floor while they're sneaking into somewhere. Just it's just weird. It's hard to describe. I mean, big selection of things like firearms. Uh, some of them seem really cool. Some of them seem really weird. Particularly things like these, the Flowbert rifles, which are evidently bad enough that the company that is selling them to you recommends not buying one, or the bicycle rifle, which I mean the catalog also has old bicycles in it. It's and like I said, you can even just be using the art because, to the best of my knowledge, because this is from I think it's pre 1923 or something like that. Anything before that is in the public domain. So all of this wonderful hand drawn art is pretty much freely available to use. I do plan on putting the link to the Internet Archive or the archive of it in the description. So if you want to take a look at it, it's kind of a big file because it's 1,200 pages that are scanned. I mean, just little creature comforts for your party, like tents and tombstones. To give you an idea of what you could find at local stuff. But the biggest thing for me, the biggest source of inspiration was the drugs section because before the FDA came around, you could slap a label on anything. It could be horse urine and lead, and you could sell it as a miracle tonic, and people would buy it because they want to be cured of arthritis or whatever. Evidently, at this point, there was a really big issue with your blood not being thick enough, So there's a lot of blood builders and blood thickeners. Uh, yeah, the, the Sears catalog is a strange place in that you could purchase a shotgun, four wagon wheels, a bunch of cocaine, a thing to get you off of cocaine, and a set of horseshoes. Like you could have all of that shipped in, according to the catalog, in a discreet package, so people don't know what you bought. And I just can't get over what kind of weird arsenic complexion wafers. Just worm cakes to help you with your worms, tonics, just random various things that it's just a cornucopia of weird potions that the players could have access to, or you could just be selling them snake oil or things that legitimately work because they don't believe that it's gonna work. So, I mean, sure, you bought a bottle of blood thickener and now suddenly you have a higher armor class, or you have advantage on saving throws to poison because your blood moves like gravy in your veins. I mean, you might have some other issues with that, but now you have sick blood. Evidently, that was a problem. I think they might also have blood thinners, so you can even yourself out. But yeah, it is just such a bizarre look at the past to see what kind of stuff they had and what kind of devices and things you could purchase in the mail and people would have in their home. But yeah, it's very interesting to me. And like I said, as much as I was working on a fantasy West setting, I wanted to at least have some semblance of things that because that marriage of technology and magic, like post-industrial revolution, when things are becoming commonly available, so people might shy away from magic a little bit because it might be more expensive. You can get a cheaper version of the same thing, or roughly the same thing. Uh, when I was running test stuff for Saloon Tales, being able to have like wax cylinders for them to play to kind of give some story extrapolation or some backstory to something, and it opens up a decent amount of things, so you don't have to have like scrolls and parchments. Like you can find old books in like normal, but they could be really weird specific books on like how to play the accordion, and so anybody can learn. And you might even be able to find cheap magic books, even if they're just completely fake, like magnetism and hypnotism kind of things, because they do sell them in this catalog. But yeah, it's worth looking at if you're running Deadlands or Owlhoot Trail or something along those lines. That it gives you just something to anchor you, just a light tether to a bit of reality, even if that reality was pretty strange in of itself. So yeah, check it out. Have a nice day.